Hello and welcome! If you recently switched to a larger vehicle and noticed that judging distance has become more difficult, you're not alone. Many drivers experience this when moving from a smaller car to something bigger, like an SUV. Tasks that once felt easy, like parking or driving through a narrow street, can become much more difficult and challenging. And here's how to cope with this. Before you can accurately judge the distance between your vehicle and surrounding objects, the first thing you need is a proper driving position. That means adjusting your seat correctly, distance from the steering wheel, pedal reach, backrest angle, and so on. And what I must emphasize here is seat height. If it's too low, your blind spots increase, meaning there is more space in front and behind the car that you simply can't see. Ideally, you should adjust the seat so that your eyes are roughly at the height of the middle of the windshield. This gives you an optimal view of what's ahead while still allowing you to see what's happening around you. Of course, mirrors also play an important role. You want to set them to give the most complete view of what's behind the car. If they are angled too high, too low, or too far to the side, you'll mostly see things that aren't relevant for driving. In fact, we have a separate video on this, so instead of going deeper into details, let's move on to practical driving examples. The first thing to master is how much space you have in front of your own vehicle. You've probably experienced this situation. You're stopping behind another vehicle, trying to judge distance. It feels like you're very close, so you stop. But in reality, there's still several feet of space. To avoid this, use the edge of your hood, or if you can't see it, the lower edge of the windshield as a reference point. As you approach the car in front, watch how it goes downward in your field of vision. When its tires disappear below the hood or lower edge of the windshield, you're about 6 to 8 feet away. As you get closer, when the entire bumper disappears from view, you're roughly 2 feet away, and that's close enough in most cases. A similar principle applies when approaching a wall or fence. When the bottom edge of the obstacle disappears below the windshield, you still have about 10 feet. When that same edge aligns with the corner of the windshield, you're around 10 feet away. And if you want to get very close, you can continue tracking that edge against your side mirror. When it aligns with the bottom of the mirror, you're approximately 1 foot away. One important note. All these reference points are approximate and can vary slightly depending on the car. A taller vehicle gives you a different view angle compared to a smaller one. That's why it's important to practice. Move slowly, observe when certain parts disappear from view, stop and check the actual distance. After a few attempts, you'll develop a very good sense of space. Also, keep in mind that all of this applies when you're approaching straight. If you are moving at an angle, all this visual perspective changes and these reference points become less reliable. When reversing, the principle is very similar. If there is a car behind you, use the center mirror to monitor it. Unlike side mirrors, which are slightly curved and distort distances, the center mirror gives a more accurate image. As you reverse, the car behind will appear to move downward in your view. When its hood disappears below the trunk line or the lower edge of your rear window, you're roughly 3 feet away. Again, similarly, if you're reversing toward a wall, use your side mirror. Watch the line where the wall meets the ground. As you move back, that line will drop lower in the mirror, and when it aligns with the bottom edge of the mirror, you're about 1 foot away. Now, a quick note. Many modern cars have sensors and cameras, which are very helpful. But in tight or tricky situations, don't rely on them completely. In more complex situations, it's always best to physically turn your head and look behind. That gives you the most complete picture, and also, if you can't see the rear end of your car, you can slightly lift yourself from the seat to get a better angle. Another common situation is driving through narrow streets where space is limited on both sides. For most drivers, the left side isn't much of a problem. It's closer and easier to judge. But the right side can be tricky, since it's harder to estimate how far you are from the curb or parked cars. Here's a helpful hack. While sitting in the driver's seat, identify the center of the dashboard or windshield. That line roughly corresponds to the right side of your vehicle. So if parked cars or edge of the road or curb appear at or to the right of that line, you're passing safely. In general, when obstacle aligns with the center of the dashboard, you have approximately 1 foot of space on your right side. It's best to avoid moving further right than that unless unnecessary, since you risk hitting mirrors or other obstacles. Another reference point is the base of your left windshield wiper, so this point here. If the curb aligns with that point, you're extremely close. By going further right, you risk contact. So as a rule of thumb, up to the center of the dashboard is safe, and beyond that, toward the wiper base, it's practically a danger zone. Again, since these reference points vary slightly between cars, it's a good idea to practice. Drive alongside a curb or even better an edge of the road, align it with different reference point, and check in your side mirror how far actually you are. This way you'll develop a precise sense of space to your right side. Finally, let's talk about turning into a tight space. This can be especially challenging if you're switching from a smaller to a larger car. There are 2 things to keep in mind here. First, before turning, move slightly in the opposite direction if possible. This creates more room for the turn and makes the maneuver easier. For example, if you're turning right, move slightly left beforehand. As much as the traffic allows, of course. Ideally, you want at least 3 feet of space on the inside before the turn. Second, timing is crucial. If you turn too early, your inner side may get too close to the curb or obstacle. If you turn too late, you'll go wide and might not fit into the space. A general rule is to start turning when the obstacle you're steering around aligns roughly with the middle of your front door. If you positioned yourself well beforehand, you should have enough room. But still, keep an eye on things using your mirrors. Your main focus, though, should be on the outer front corner of your car, since that's where you're most likely to misjudge distance. Also, in tight turns, steer quickly. This reduces the turning radius and helps you straighten the car sooner. So let's see that once again through this car wash complex, where I need to take several sharp turns in a relatively tight space to go around. First, going a bit wide to the left, turning sharply when the middle of the passenger door aligns with the obstacle, watching the near front corner while straightening the car, and then repeating the whole procedure through here, and finally, doing everything in the opposite direction while going through this tight left-hand turn. Simple, smooth, and controlled. So there you have it. Now you should have a better understanding of how to judge distance in front and behind, how to use reference points effectively, how to handle narrow streets, and how to approach tight turns with confidence. If you have any questions, suggestions, or your own tips, feel free to leave them in the comments. See you in the next one.